AI is everywhere, from self-driven cars to the way we get answers on the internet. And it seems like it's revolutionizing every aspect of our lives. But here's the question. Are we really stopping to think about how AI is changing us and what it might be taking away in the process? What if by embracing it so blindly, we're losing some of the most important skills we need to think critically, creatively, and ethically? Now, I'm not here to tell you that AI is inherently evil or that we should abandon it entirely. But I do think we need to take a more critical look at it. Today we're going to take a step back from the hype and look at AI from a different perspective. A humanities perspective. We're going to dive into the risks of over-glorifying AI, how it affects our ability to think for ourselves, and why we need to approach it with more caution. My name is Marina. I am a PhD student in the humanities studying environmental narratives, and this channel is all about learning, critical thinking, and how to apply skills from the humanities to everyday lives. In today's video, I'll be offering my perspective on AI, looking at it not just as a tool, but as something that has deeper implications for the way we learn, think, and understand the world. One of the biggest issues with AI, especially as it is applied today, is its ethical dilemma. Yes, we know that AI systems can be discriminatory because of biased data. It's really important that we talk about that. But there's a deeper, more fundamental issue that I don't see enough people addressing, and that's the epistemological problem. Epistemology might sound like a fancy term, but it's really just the study of knowledge. It's about how we understand what we know, how we justify beliefs, and what it means to truly know something. And this is where Jason Edward Lewis, a digital media theorist, really makes his mark. He argues that AI is an epistemological problem because the systems we use to train AI only operate from a very narrow perspective, namely the Western scientific view of knowledge. And he advocates for integrating diverse knowledge systems into the development of AI, particularly those of indigenous communities and other non-Western cultures. But here's the problem. If we merely rely on AI to give us answers, we forget to question how knowledge is constructed in the first place. So the danger is that we may fall into the trap of thinking of knowledge as singular, just one way of knowing. In reality, knowledge is plural. There are multiple knowledge systems, each shaped by different cultures, experiences, and values. And these systems exist within hierarchies of power. And it's crucial that we don't exclude these diverse ways of knowing. And if we do choose to rely on one system, we at least must be aware of its limitations and critically evaluate the output that it generates. And ask ourselves, whose knowledge is this based on and what might be left out? Now let's shift gears and talk about one of the fundamental issues with AI that often gets overlooked. Its blurred nature. To explain this, let's think about images. Have you ever noticed how compressing an image to save space can make it lose some of its detail, resulting in a blurry version of the original? Well, the same concept can be applied to AI. In the article AI Like a Blurry JPEG, Ted Chiang uses the analogy to explain how AI works and how it doesn't always provide us with clear, reliable information. Instead, they offer us approximations, rephrased patterns of statistical regularities. The result is answers that may seem plausible at first glance, but often lack precisions. They are like the blurry artifacts you see in a compressed image, subtle enough that you might not notice, but wrong if you compare them to the original. The analogy to a blurry JPEG doesn't just explain how AI works, it also highlights its limitation. Just like a blurry image, AI can only offer an approximation of the truth. It's not perfect, it's a statistical representation resembling pieces of information based on patterns. AI-generated responses sound plausible but don't hold up when fact-checked. And because these errors often appear subtle or harmless, they can easily be overlooked. But so AI's blurriness is not always obvious, but it's a fundamental issue when it comes to trusting its output. But there's more at stake here. If you're a young person or someone still in the process of learning critical thinking skills, relying on AI to provide answers or generate ideas for you means you might be cutting out the messy, essential process of developing your own thoughts. And when I was learning to think critically, and I'm still in the process, it wasn't just about getting the right answer. It's about the process, the drafts, the rewrites. It's about struggling through my ideas and refining them. So by relying too heavily on AI, you miss out on that development process. Hundreds of drafts, the figuring out what works and what doesn't. That's where critical thinking is truly developed. And so when AI does it for you, you're not learning how to think, question, or analyze. And that's something that concerns me a lot because I teach young people and they're using their best years, the years where they have the time and freedom to train their thinking, their creativity, and their skills. But instead of putting the effort to make mistakes, challenge themselves, and grow, they're skipping this process by relying on AI. And the danger is that when they get older, they won't have the opportunity to make those mistakes anymore. They'll be thrust into a situation where they need to produce results fast, where there's no space for that development to work. And it's a huge missed opportunity. So the danger is particularly serious for untrained young people. If you're older and you've already developed critical thinking and problem-solving skills, and using AI as a helper or tool to assist you in your work is fine and might be helpful, but it should be used critically as an addition to your own thinking, not as a replacement. So the moment it takes over your ability to analyze and question, you're not exercising those critical thinking skills anymore. So let me be clear, AI can be a powerful tool. It can help you speed up processes, spark creativity, and offer insight, but it should not be a replacement for your own thinking, your own understanding, and your own development. It's not going to make you a better thinker. It's just a tool, and like any tool, how you use it matters. So next time you turn on an AI tool for help, ask yourself, am I learning from this or just letting it do all the work? If we want to grow, we have to engage with the process, messiness, mistakes, and all. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, share your thoughts in a comment, and please subscribe for more dives into these important topics.